Welcome, everybody. What in the world have we got? I wanted to say, welcome everybody to the doghouse. And man, I look up there and old big dog Randy's got the shades on and laid back.
Do my Stevie Wonder impression.
Stevie, good evening, everybody. What is that? What is that smell? Jay, is that you? No, that's not Jay.
Mm.
Is that a skunk?
Bro,
Ooh,
bro, you're the
ooh.
one that. Woo! You smell like Pepe Le Pew, brother. It's okay. It's okay. Just wipe that. Try to tell people how you get that skunk off your body. You know that skunk smell off you, man. Come on.
We're gonna turn the fan on in here in a minute. Oh my goodness, guys. If y'all haven't figured out, tonight's show is about how to stay away from that old stinky Pepe Le Pew. Oh my goodness. I'm as always your host, Daryl, co-hosting with me, Mr. J, and running all the stuff back there in the background, looking all fancy and professional. Mr. Randy Curo over there. How you doing, guys?
Howdy, howdy. Great to be here.
Doing well, Daryl. How you doing?
Man, I tell you what, if I was any better, shoot, they'd probably have me 6 feet under, and man, I done rose up or something. Man, I tell you what, I've had a great week, and I tell you, it was a fun weekend. We fished tournament Saturday and stayed away from the skunk pretty much all night, but uh, it was a fun weekend. I say hello to everybody out there in chat. Let's just speak to everybody that's out there. Mr. 922 Crappy Barbecue. Daryl, was great to talk to you again today. Yep, I spoke with Mr. Bobby. I think that was Bobby. This morning he was on Stan's show, and I come in there, man. They was just downing me. I don't know what it is about people. Always want to jump in on me. So I was in there, and man. I tell you what, I got home at like 3 o'clock in the morning, and I slept late, and I woke up and I turned the TV on and throwed YouTube up there, and Stan Day was on, and what in the heck? They're over there talking trash. I mean, just down at me. I had to jump in there, and you know me, defend myself. So we had a good time on Stan Day, guys. Y'all ever not got anything going on or whatever on Sunday morning, jump in there and check out Stand Day. It's pretty good show there. And we got Jerry Hagar fishing and was it 419 fishing and powder coating. Okay.
Yeah, he's the one that does the powder coating. He did some powder coating on some of Adam's rod holders. He
Oh,
does a powder coating. He does tumblers and stuff like that too.
oh,
Nice.
that's I'll see there.
Yeah.
Give him a shout out there. I know I seen where Adam was about to send some off to get powder coat. I'm sure that's probably where you go. Man, oh, Steve Hooker, man, he's not going to be with us. He's on his way back from Colorado. I guess he's not going to make it in the show.
Oregon. He's in Oregon.
Oregon,
I'm from Colorado. You got Colorado on the mind.
keep me straight. Looked like he had a great fishing weekend, though. I've seen some pictures he put up of. I don't know. I
Yeah, I
think
did.
that was called a dogfish. Maybe he's in there and can tell us, but I think that's a dogfish he had. Anyway, Dave Garcher and Burrito, Catfish Lady. Hey, 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 how you doing? Man, who? I don't know. It must be a first time guy. Uh, Monty Sheets. Who? Y'all know who that guy is?
Sounds
Anyway,
familiar.
I
Oh yeah,
Where
appreciate
have
that's
I heard?
that's Mr. Bossman. That's Mr.
Is that where
Bossman
I
right
heard
there.
that from?
Yeah. That's where
To
it's from.
heaven.
I thought I'd heard that name. Y'all know my memory's just so bad. But anyway,
Did you?
everybody, welcome to the doghouse. And like I say, Mr. Monty, owner of the Guard Dog with guarddogproducts.com. If you want to get you one of these little rascals right here. is sponsoring the show. And tonight we are going to talk about how to keep away from the skunk. Man, that little skunk, I'm telling you what, that thing can get a hold of you sometimes and mess with your mind. And it's hard to get rid of it sometimes, guys. With all
What's
Yep.
the longest? What's the longest stint of a skunk you ever had, Daryl?
man,
He has to think about this one.
I gotta say for 2 weeks now.
2 weeks.
oh
Is that your
Lord,
longest?
Yeah.
I don't. I guess I'm gonna be honest. I really haven't been skunked, but about 2 times in the last 4 years, 3 times,
Wow.
4 years.
All right. So then,
One was at
did
a
you?
lake where I was trying to fish for some bluegill, and then on the Tennessee River, I've been skunked twice in the last 4 years. Had some good
Hmm,
luck. I mean, there's all kind of ways to keep from doing that. What about you,
that's what.
Randy? When's the last time you got skunked?
Well, you know what? There was a time where I think, and I think I mean, luckily I learned from a mistake, so I'll be able to contribute a little bit tonight. But I think I went. My longest stint in my life was probably at least 3 weeks for some reason.
Yeah,
3 weeks of trying and just not catching nothing. So, but I've learned a lot since then. That was a little while ago. So
yeah. I
hopefully,
mean,
hopefully it doesn't happen again anytime soon.
well, when you get as old as me, it's like Monty said that he went out twice this week and not even a nibble.
Man,
Oh man.
Uh, when you get old as I am, you learn where not to do and what to do to keep from getting skunked.
all right.
Uh,
Right.
so I'm just old chunk of coal anyway, I guess. And man, being flexible. I mean, I think that's the number one thing that you can do is keep from being skunked is being flexible. I mean, I know sometimes they're just, especially in the wintertime, and the water's cold and the fish are sluggish, and yeah, it can be really hard. But like I say, adapting and learning and uh, especially on the Tennessee River, there's so many different ways to catch a fish. If you can, if you're, if when I go fishing, I I keep now I'm a boat fisherman, so it's a lot different, but I keep different rods on my boat for different ways of fishing. And everybody knows I'm primarily a cat fisherman, but if you're a cat fisherman, you got to be able to catch all species of fish for bait. So, you know, I keep several different rod setups on my boat. Uh, but I'd say like hot summertime is especially like right now, downsizing baits a lot of times can help you out there. Uh, Steve says changing places, absolutely changing places, changing presentation. That's my
Yep.
thing. I don't know about you guys. Like I say you guys are bank fishermen.
Yeah, the
Uh,
bank is really easy to get skunked because I mean it's harder to you're not as mobile, right? So depending on how much gear you have,
yeah,
um, you got to
You
be
gotta
able to
pack it
move.
up.
Yep. I
Yeah, you
mean, I
gotta
remember.
pack it up and move.
yeah. Looks
I
like
see.
Lisa said, she said, I caught mine last weekend on chicken. They wouldn't touch skipjack. That's right. Different baits. That if you
Yep.
can go with different baits is a good thing to do. Always. I'm always bringing different baits with me or catching fresh bait. I mean, the thing what I do is when I go catfishing, I'm going to bring some bait that I have froze with me just in case I don't get into a lot of good bait to catch. Like if the
Right.
skipjack's not hitting or if the bluegill's not, readily available for me where I'm trying. But fresh bait, is always a good thing. Yeah. I mean, even night crawlers will catch a catfish. I've always got night crawlers on the boat because I'm trying to catch usually bluegill because I love that as a bait. But I've got also spoons and stuff to try to catch skipjack or crappie or whatever there is out there. I always try to take different baits because different times of year, different baits are moving around and are easier than others, and that's what the catfish are keying on. So
We're
Yep.
talking about all the different baits and all, but one thing to keep in mind that works for me a lot of times is just downsizing. So usually, I mean, I get there and I want to go for the biggest fish. So I get the biggest hook and a big old chunk. But
Yeah,
when they're not biting right away, just go downsizing. Sometimes that helps.
absolutely, absolutely. I may get it there. Everybody knows that knows me. What's up, Johnny Small Pepper? How you doing, buddy? I haven't seen you in a good while. There's Catfish Katie Collins. Hey, everybody driving but listening in. Sorry I couldn't join in. I miss you again. But you know, everybody knows I love to anchor fish. But man, I'll tell you what, they sometimes that anchor fishing, they're just you just don't hit the right spots. So I may change around and suspend fish where I can, you know, do a little drifting down the river slowly with suspend fishing, and that didn't work. I can a lot of times I free line, and that's fishing a lot like suspend fishing, but you don't even have a weight on there. So I do a lot of different things to keep from getting skunked because I hate the old skunk.
Like I said, it's been a little while for me, and I think like you mentioned on the baits, try to bring a different array of baits.
Yeah,
Sometimes they're hitting the cut bait, the dead bait. Sometimes they want the live bait. So
Steve
definitely
said,
bring both if you can.
yeah, this sounds dumb, but keep fishing. Stay positive. Something will happen. Good will happen. But if you're a Debbie Downer, you probably will get skunked. That's true. Uh, if you get set in your ways and you can't change, and you just, you know, uh, if you're just doing the same thing over and over and over and expecting a different outcome, you're going to
Yep.
get.
The way I do it is I just go in there like if I'm not gonna catch anything, I just put that mindset of I'm not gonna catch anything, and I end up catching a lot of stuff. Like I end up catching a lot of carp. I just go in there and just like, okay, I'm not gonna catch nothing today, and then it all changes up. And it also depends on times of days too. Like, what part of the day are you fishing, or what are you targeting? What baits are you using? You know what I mean? Like, even if like you're a bass fisherman, they have to switch baits constantly. You know what I'm saying? Like, they got to be constantly. You can move from a soft plastic to a hard plastic. Something like that.
Yeah,
Things like that. It's just based on what you're targeting. You go for what you're targeting. If you can't target that fish, then go for something else.
absolutely.
Yep,
Yeah,
that's what
Try
we had to
something
do this
different.
last weekend. This last weekend, we couldn't get any of the catfish to bite, none of the wipers, none of the soggies. But we were hitting them pretty good. We're getting crappies and bluegills, and my favorite turtles. So
he's
Yeah,
a turtle
that's
man.
the turtle champ
yeah,
right there.
a whole bunch of turtles. But you know what seemed to be working, and I don't know if it's just this time of year or whatnot. But if you're able to go somewhere where you live and either catch or buy minnows,
Yeah,
minnows is like probably my second live minnows, not dead ones. Live minnows is probably my second favorite bait. Probably right past crawlers. Crawler seems to catch a lot for me. Once again, live bait, but minnows is probably my second for when it's really tough.
it's hard to beat live bait. That's for sure. Yeah, Bobby was fishing in stand day this morning, and it, 5 or 6 minutes after it was over with, he doubled up, and then we were talking about something we'll talk about here in a little bit after the show with Stan and everything, and he was catching them left and right after the live went off. It's like, man, that's the way it seems like it works with
Right?
me all the time too. So,
I always
but
catch
Johnny
fish too
says,
when I don't have my cameras. Like I said, every time I catch a fish, sometimes I don't have my camera equipment on me. I'm like screwing around or whatever,
yeah,
and then I turn the camera on, and the fish sometimes just disappear. Just
yeah,
disappear.
yeah.
Camera shot.
And like Bobby says, you always can be like me. If you're getting skunked, always have a big stick of dynamite. I'm telling you what, it'll bring them. Hey,
that's your
in black
go-to, huh?
what it happens is it brings the fish to the top of the water, and you can use top water baits and just get them left and right.
Y'all crazy.
Oh no, I'm just joking. That's always my joke. I'm not gonna get stunk. I got dynamite, but yeah. Man, live bait, you can't go wrong with it. I don't care who you are. If you're bass fishing or any type fishing. Live bait is, I mean, you can't go wrong with it for sure.
Yep.
Right.
This weekend we were doing a tournament. It's the live fishing tournament, and we had the rules was okay. Here's the way it went, and it's a crazy rule, but it was pretty fun. You once it started at 6 o'clock. Once the first fish was caught, and this was 23 people. Once the first fish was caught, everybody had 1 hour to catch a fish. And that's pressure right there,
That
guys.
is pressure. Jeez.
That's pressure. It was elimination. It was basically an elimination tournament. So when you had, and then if there was like three people kicked out at this, like after the first round, if you went to a second round, you had an hour. And if you got knocked out in the second round, if you had three people knocked out in the second round, whoever had the biggest fish, that's you came in above the other two. So it was wild, and you had to think of how am I going to catch a fish every hour to stay in this
Hmm.
tournament? And it went all the way up to midnight, and then if there's anybody that was left at midnight, it was whoever caught the first fish won the tournament. We actually was lucky enough to catch the first fish at like 6:03, 6:05, something. I mean, it was just quick.
Hmm.
And so then everybody had an hour. Well, we're sitting back for an hour. We're not going to stay in our hole, sore mouth our catfish. So we pull off our rods in. So that was our strategy. Is once we caught a fish, we wasn't going to keep our lines out there and sore mouth the fish. Catch 3 or 4 more before that hour is up, and then we wasn't going to have we wouldn't have had as good of a, I'd say, chance to catch one. So once the hour's up, we lost three. We just lost 3 teams. Was it? So then so now everybody casts out again, and the hour doesn't start till somebody catches the first fish again. That was a wild tournament. So you had to figure out. You better be able to change up real quick if you didn't catch one. But we were lucky enough. We went all the way down. We caught the first fish, I think, 3 times during that tournament. And then when we got down to where it really counted, there was 6 people left. I think it started at 12:30 because of the way it hit. So elimination, the final round was at 12:30, and of course we didn't catch the first fish then. And then it went by fish size, what place you came in, and we had the smallest fish of the last round. So, we caught the first fish the round before that too, but we had the smallest fish out of 6 out of that round before, so we come in 6th place. But that was a fun tournament. But you bet, and we started off fishing. We had the boat tied up, and we started out fishing one place. Well, our bite dried up in one round, and we're like, okay, now we're going to have to do something different. So then we started free lining, and we started catching fish free lining for 2 rounds. We caught them that way. So we had to change up, or we would have probably been knocked out and been in like 12th place, whatever. So I always remember, even if something's working for you, if you didn't get a bite after a while, be willing to change up or move or whatever. So we would have been, like I say, maybe 12th place if we hadn't said, okay, they're not biting. Let's try something different. And when we did, bam, we changed up and did it again and did good again. So you
From
got
the
it.
bank, that's real important. Um, a lot of the times is, and we were talking about this, like I said, when last time we had that pro staff tournament, and I was fishing with Jay, literally depending on what's happening, you're fishing, I don't know, left 10 feet, right 10 feet, one more foot left or right, and that's where the fish are. You won't know that if you just leave your stuff there. So you got to bring it in and keep
Yeah.
casting out, especially from the bank. Try to do like, if you have the patience, try to do it like a methodical, do the whole fan. And if after that you're
Right.
not getting any bites, that's when you could probably consider packing up and moving down bank another 50 feet and giving it another shot.
Yeah. Um, and I watched a show, and it was somewhere, I think, in England, somewhere over there. Anyway, and they were big in carp, and this guy drains the lakes every so often and cleans them out and stuff like that. He has like 2 or 3 lakes, and he drains them down, and they check and see how big the carp are and everything. And he was showing when they drain down certain places where, and he's like, I don't even really know why they like this spot, but where the carp had wallowed out a hole around like a piece of tree underneath the mud, got down to it,
Right.
and the spot was maybe 4 foot around.
Hmm.
And he was talking about,
Wow.
and then they would show. He showed those. He's like, if you were sitting on the bank and you threw, and if you didn't hit that exact spot, you wasn't gonna catch one. But if you got that exact spot, you did good. And he was talking about all that, and I was like, man, that was pretty educational. Even though I'm not a carp fisherman, uh, you know, I watched it, and then they took a big net and they went out and they brought it in, and he was showing how big the carp were in there and talking about why they did things they did and stuff like that. So it was real interesting. But he was just showing that uh, fish like certain areas for a reason, and
Right.
they will congregate in that one spot. And that's why sometimes one guy's sitting right next to the other guy, and that guy's just catching them left and right, and the other guy can't catch anything because he's throwing right back in that same spot. So always pay attention to where you caught that fish and try your best to throw back in the same spot. I mean, that goes for bluegill also. I mean, if they're especially if they're spawning, you can throw in an area where they're spawning at, and man, you throw in one of their beds, and it's bam, it's on. So.
Yeah, the bluegills were biting really good this weekend for me. I mean, one after the other, but that's usually once you get into a spot of bluegills, you're usually pretty good for a while.
Yeah.
So we're having fun with bluegill. So maybe that's something else too. Is you're not if I was just trying to focus on trying to get the big boys, might have got skunked. I
Yeah.
probably would have got skunked. But then I just set up the big boy rod and grabbed the second rod and an ultralight and just screwing around, catching, having a good time at least catching
Yeah.
bluegills, crappies, and turtles. So
Well, what we
Right.
did last night also, was we had bluegill and we was using cut bait on a couple of rods, but then we was fishing with chicken on the other rods because as long as it was a catfish and it weighed over a pound, you were good. So what we were doing was, we of course we were catching them on the chicken and the night crawlers, but we still had it was a 6 rod limit. We still had once we'd reel in the rods, we'd throw out 3, but we'd have 3 rods out there that had the big baits on it trying to catch a big boy also because you wanted to catch a bigger fish if you could. Because like I say, if you went out the next round, what the biggest fish you caught the round before
right.
showed where it placed you in those that went out. So, did we catch one on the big bait? No, we didn't catch one. So it's a good thing that we wasn't trying. We were hard headed and go, we're just gonna go catch a trophy fish. I don't care what else anybody else does. A
That
good.
cracks me up. You guys get 6 rods, man. Colorado's 2, and that's with a stamp.
Well, there was 3 of us
You
in
know,
the boat anyway.
that's one thing I was like wanting to petition off to here in Colorado is try to get a petition going for all the anglers that are out here in Colorado is to push them to let us use like unlimited rods or a certain amount of rods instead of 2
Yeah,
because
I
it
mean, it's a
just
math thing, right? I mean, if you have 6
yeah.
chances in the water versus 2, it's a math thing. I mean, especially from the
Hmm.
bank,
yeah.
you'd be able to cover. Even if they went to 3, I'd be happy because I go one left, one right, one center at least, right?
Exactly.
Um,
Yeah.
so
Well, in the
Or
live,
good for
4,
that.
or 4, you go 1, 2, 3, left and
Right.
right, one in center, and then you can just, you know, catch your bait. Just sit there, you catch your bait, mess
yeah,
around till you get a bite.
yeah.
That'd be nice.
Uh, We see that's one reason the live fishing tournament does. You can have 3 people in the boat. It has a 6 rod limit. That's every tournament can only have 6 rods, but you can have 3 people in the boat with you. There's 3. They can be a total of 3 people in the boat, or if you're fishing from the bank, you can have 3 people on your team fishing from the bank. So that makes it where it is fair for everybody. I mean,
Right.
these tournaments thought of a lot of ways to make things look pretty fair. I mean, they do tournaments that's for the guys that catch a lot of small fish. We call them dink fishing. But they got them also where it's bags where you can catch 3 and it's the biggest bag of 3, So they're all over the place with it. I like that. And like I say, you just got to be able to change around and be able to get there. So,
What's up,
Yeah, when
922? How you doing?
we're
so
talking about the different baits, the different sizes and all that, but like the different presentation was big for us too. I mean, we tried, you got to try everything. I mean, we tried float from the surface, we tried the bottom, and then we tried the middle columns. And then you got to try that throughout the different areas from the bank. So, I mean, it is a lot of work, but if you're not catching fish, what else are you going to do? Try
right,
something, right? You're
yeah,
not catching.
Right.
So try different. I know sometimes it sucks. Like, geez, I got to retie my rig because I was on bottom fishing. I got to go for the top. You
yeah.
ain't catching fish. You got nothing going on. Just cut the line, set up another rig, and try it, right?
Yeah, I go fishing
Mm-hmm.
with a lot of I go fishing with a lot of different people that fish out of a boat like I do. And when I fish, or I'll see them, it's like it's so funny. Even when you're fishing out of a boat, I guess you got to just bomb a bait as far as you can out of a boat too. I don't know why, but anyway, a lot of people do.
Yeah.
But when I go fishing from a boat, I'm generally fishing with 6 rods. My inside rods I throw out about probably 30 to 40 feet. My 2 rods beside those, I throw out probably 60 feet, somewhere 60, 70 feet. And the rods beside those, I throw out even further. That way I'm at different footages. I'm not just
Right.
throwing rods 120 feet out there, 6 rods 120 feet out there laying out. I've got them at different distances from the boat. And the main reason I started doing this, if I caught a fish on my inside rod and they run left or right, they'd run over the top of my other lines and got hung up. But so what I did was start doing that, and I started catching more fish when I did that also. But if I catch one on my inside lines and they run left or right, now they're under the other lines and they run,
Right.
and we don't get tangled up as bad. But it also gives you different distances that you're trying. Of course, you're trying to spread them wider also, but that's why I do that. And like you're talking about, I also run a lot of times, even if I'm anchored, I'll run a suspend rod there also that's up off the bottom about 6 to 8 feet. That way, if they're running up off the bottom, and especially if they're moving from area to area, they're not down on that bottom of the catfish yet
Right.
a lot of times. So I'm coming up a little higher to catch something that's a little higher also. So there's a lot of different ways that we try to do that. And then, like I say, if I don't catch one, and now it's going to be different from the bank, you might sit there 2 to 3 hours before you move, but move. Don't be scared to gather your stuff up and move, And I know it's a
Right.
lot harder on a bank, but yeah,
Yep.
you can always
It's
move.
easy. It's easy to sit up and get comfy, but I mean, like I said, once the bite we realized was really few and far between. I wasn't setting up. I usually like to set up a little canopy, get out of the sun, and I try to make it nice. But
Yeah,
we knew the bite was bad, so I told my brother we're going to keep moving here. If we're not getting a bite in a half hour, we want to be able to move, to at least like I said, 100 yards down the shore. So we didn't set up anything but the bare essentials until we finally started getting into some fish. Then you
yeah,
can set up.
Right.
yeah. I don't understand where you guys are and why they don't set up instead of a rod limit, a fish limit. Makes
Well,
no
they did the fish limit for
Well,
sure.
yeah, we
sense.
do the fish limit.
It's pretty strict.
Yeah,
It's
for trout, I believe it's like what, 4
Depends.
fish,
Yeah, 4 in most
depending on.
places.
Yep.
So, which is funny because, like I said, that's the staple fish out here. That's the one that they stock all the public lakes with is rainbow trout
yeah.
because
Is the
that's the
re
one people like to get.
Yeah, is the reasoning behind that is do y'all not have as much whenever your fish spawn, not as many live, or why is the reasoning that they're so tough? Do you just not have as many fish, or do they freeze in the wintertime and die
I don't know.
more than
I mean,
any other?
that's a good point. I mean, I don't. I mean, compared to other states where like yours, where they've already have more than 1 or 2 rod limits, and it's shown that it's not detrimental to the conservation still. Because like I said, if you're catching fish, you're catching fish. You're going to limit it by fish. It shouldn't really matter how many rods I have there. Like you said, it's limited by fish, limited by length if they want to, on some of the species that need to grow bigger and respawn, stuff like that. But the actual number of rods, I just don't know why they do that. It's just been like that forever.
Yeah.
So
Hey, Shad Daddy. Well, I'll tell you what, guys in chat, we're going to take a little break right here. And if you guys know why states up north have rod limits or even less fish caught, be putting them in the chat, and when we come right back in just about 30 seconds, we'll talk about that.
well, let's make it a minute and 20 seconds. I'll give you time to go get a cold one.
Okay, we're gonna make a minute 20-second break here, and we'll be right back, guys. Man, that was awesome. Awesome commercial. You ever wanted to know how to use the guard dog? That right there showed you a lot, all in one
Yeah,
deal.
dude.
Sure. Boat, ice fishing, bank. Well, it's
What?
good.
I tell you what, we're in the heat. I don't know if this is the dog days of summer. I mean, I have to look at what that term actually means, but it seems like we're in it because
Yeah.
other than global warming, I mean, we're going into this coming week. We got the next 3 days going to possibly hit triple digits again. Once again, this is Colorado. What the heck, right?
I hear you. Monty said Minnesota has the strictest fish laws. Sometimes one rod with a limit of fish. Is that
What the
crazy?
heck, man? That's just crazy.
I
What the
love
heck?
it.
Just even-
Hey, I don't know how blessed I am living in Georgia with that kind of strictness. Man,
They make you keep one rod. They should say no limit, huh? You got one rod, you got barbless hooks, and you can keep whatever you catch.
less fish taken out of the water or inadvertent kill to mishandling. Oh, that's
Yeah,
great.
and come on again. I like to know the true scientific reason that it's actually helping conservation because I'm all about conservation. I catch and release probably 95% of the fish I catch personally.
Yeah.
So
I,
yeah, this is true. This is true. Steve got that right, dude. It usually does go off.
Yeah, or if Monty's over there aggravating Jay while Jay's trying to fish or what. I said Ronnie, I meant Randy. Randy's over
I was
there.
gonna say what I was gonna say. Who's messing with Jay? That's my job.
You do. Over there throwing in his fishing hole and
Yeah, it's all right though. We share that lake. It's okay.
Well, guys, you heard the old saying about how you watch a teapot, it won't boil, right? Maybe there's something to that too about people that just sit there and watch your pole.
yeah, that's why we
Don't
got
watch, you
that's
know what
why
I
we
mean?
got guard dog. We don't have to sit
Right?
there. We can go
Sit there and
talk to our buddy or whatever. I like I say, and that's the one thing I've enjoyed more about the guard dog than anything is you don't have to sit there with your cowbell sitting on there.
I'm surprised he didn't even enter the show with him on his hat.
right?
Ah, yeah,
I think that's a
boy, I got a complex. Get that thing out of here. Got a complex with everything. Oh, man. I would like to talk about something real quick before we get back into how to get rid of the skunk. A lot of people know JG Hill, and really nice guy, really good guy. He works with. He's been co-hosting with Stan on his Friday night shows from 8 to 9 o'clock, and found out he has cancer, and it's throat cancer. So
Hmm.
he is going to be going through a lot of chemo and stuff over the next year, and not going to be able to work. And so when I do tournaments, if you guys watch the tournaments I'm in, and every tournament generally, I can't tell you a tournament in the last year I have been in is if somebody doesn't win the whole thing, their thing is, well, at least I beat Daryl. Everybody always wants to beat me in a tournament. That is and if anybody ever watches, you guys know that's the number one thing generally said. If I'm in a tournament, they want to beat me. So we're going to do a benefit tournament, and this benefit tournament is going to be titled "Can you beat? Are you good enough to beat Daryl?" It's going to be a
Kind of like beat Bobby Flay, the
yeah,
cooking
it's going to
show.
be just like beat Bobby Flay. It's going to
Right.
be a catfish tournament, and it's going to be me against everybody in that tournament. The way you win the tournament is you beat me. But this is going to be to raise money for JG. It's going to be on August the 17th. We will come out next Thursday, probably night on Dustin's channel. But it's going to be $20 per team to enter. You can fish from the bank. You can fish from anywhere like that you want to. Fish from a boat,
Oh,
whatever. And it's per
you
team.
finally decided. You finally decided the bank stuff that I was talking about.
The bank stuff. What you talking about? What
Yeah,
you talking
remember when I was like, when I so uh when I asked that question earlier in Stand Day about the bank fishermen, can they join too?
Yes,
So
absolutely. Yeah, yeah.
okay,
It's going to be per team. And I don't care
okay.
if you got 10 guys on the bank with you. This is to raise money. That's what I've been telling everybody. Fish Whisker Daryl, I'm here in chat. If anyone needs any info, message me. Yep, Miss Rhonda. I've got like I said, I've got what Miss Rhonda has uh typed up for us. She's sort of the mother of all of us men out there, and she keeps everything straight for us. But anyway, it's going to be $20 to enter per team. Uh, but if you're by yourself, it'll be just yourself. And generally, we do free tournaments when we do tournaments. But this one, like I say, we're trying to raise money. The rod limit is whatever your state allows, or up to 6 rods. If you want to get a sponsor for your entry fee, you may. For every $5 over the entry fee you raise will equal 1 pound added to your total weight. So I'm asking for sponsors. Monty, if you want to sponsor me, you know my PayPal, and so any dollar, all five, basically what it is, every $5 over your entry fee, say you do a $25, you send in $25, then you get 1 pound put automatically to your bag.
Hmm.
So if somebody comes in and they put in $200, then all of that except for $20 goes to your bag, weight. So I'm going to be hitting up my sponsors and asking. Oh, there we go. See there, I already got me a sponsor for $100. Thank you, Monty. Appreciate it. You know my PayPal. So
So
that's what we're doing, and so we're going to have the audience participation also. So if say during the if the people out there in chat want to see me get beat, and your favorite angler's in there, you can send them $20, and that gives them $4 added on to their
mm,
bag limit. You see what I'm saying? So we got to kiss up to chat also. So if you can get out in there and talk to people out in chat and get them to send in, say, here's $20 in the name of Team Who and Who, then that gives 4 pounds to their weight.
Where did they go to, Daryl?
Well, we're going to be telling all that information. What we're wanting to do is we're going to have it sent to JG's PayPal and or his Cash App, and we're going to get all that put together and have it out there next Thursday night at 8:00
Okay.
on Team Snagging Whiskers team, our
Okay.
channel. We'll be going on all different lives, and like I say, up till the 17th. And we want this money to go directly to him. So we're making sure nobody goes, well, did he really get the money? I can promise you, if somebody sends one to my PayPal or my Cash App before then for my sponsors, I promise you it's going there, and you'll know it because I'll get the extra points for it. But if you want to send it to me, my Cash App is
Dang.
I'll wait.
Daryl's really trying to get them pounds. He's just trying to win the pounds of money.
Hey, y'all are fishing against me. And these are the rules. You got, and this is once again like how to keep from skunking. This is the rules, and this is the way you work it. So
Right.
Also, if you choose, you can give a $50 donation and say you can put in there, I want Daryl to jump in the water. And if they give $50, just as soon as that $50 gets there, and that's on tournament day now, that's for the tournament. I'm going to set my rod down. Boom! I'm going in the Tennessee River right then. I'm jumping in. That's $50.
And then we just watch you float away.
Well, I'm going to swim back in and get in the boat.
You'll be tethered.
See, but also you can donate $50 for Stan 2 to do the ice bucket challenge. So if somebody gives $50 and says, I want to see a bucket of water poured over the top of Stan's head, ice water, then he's going to step right outside.
He's like Beetlejuice. He said his name too many times.
There the man is.
There's Stan right there. Here he comes. He's hiding in the shadows. You see him right there.
There you go. All right.
I don't know though. That ice bucket might actually sound good though, depending on how hot it is that day, right?
Yeah. And Stan's going to be the one. Thank you, Mr. Monty. I got that. I got my first sponsor. But anyway, so if you also, this is for all teams. If you want to give a donation for $100 in my name, you just put in there, here's $100. Now this is like again the same day. Somebody wants to give $100, say, here's $100. I want Daryl to bite the head off of a piece of his bait. I will bite the head off of a bluegill or a shiner or whatever I got there for $100. Skipjack, whatever.
Little
no, let's make it a carp. Let's make it a carp.
I'm going to bring some. I'm going to bring some shiners that I can't.
How about
get it in my mouth? But and we're also, chat can make up something. If there's something they want us to do for money, we're going to do it if we can. If it's not too outrageous, guys. This is a tournament to have fun, but for a great cause to raise money. I mean, to help. He's going to be out of work for a year, guys. That's a lot of time to not have coming into a household. So he's a great guy. We love him. He's a great friend of the community. So
also, Daryl, were you going to talk about your raffle of rods too?
We're going to do that. That's going to be afterwards. We're also going to do a raffle afterwards. But I found out about that. A lot of people know that Uncle Lou, I've got 3 of Uncle Lou's rods. He's not doing rods anymore, so these are hard to come by.
Hey, Randy, we need to win that. We need to win that.
Me, boy.
We need to win that, Randy.
We have a blue Uncle Lou rod. We have a orange Uncle Lou rod and a purple Uncle Lou rod. I will be raffling these off after. This will be coming up. This is going to be a raffle we're going to be doing like probably a couple of weeks after the tournament. And it's going to be $5 a person for the raffle. And that'll all go directly to JG also. But one person's going to win all 3 of those rods. We're talking about $300 value right there for just those 3 rods. So we got a lot of different ways. We want to raise money for JG, and like I always say, we don't want people to give till it hurts. We want them to give till it feels good, man. Where you felt good that you was able to send a little money, didn't hurt the family budget, but help out JG. Good guy, and I believe in trying to help our brothers and sisters out that's out there that needs the money. That you know there's people that's retired and their houses are paid for and they got a monthly check coming in and they don't have to have it that way. But there's people out there that's not retired. And if they don't, whenever, like I said, when I had cancer 15 years ago, if people hadn't gave me money, and I am a very, very proud person, but if they hadn't have, I would have lost my house and everything because when I
Hmm.
had cancer, my house still wasn't paid for. So, you just don't think about how much it affects people. This horrible disease called cancer is when you're going through chemo or you've got to have a surgery and then do chemo and radiation and you can't work. It's tough. It's tough. Been there, done that, and I know.
Yep.
So uh, that's just a great thing we can do to give back. And I've always said from the time when people did that for me, if there's any way I can help and give back, I'm going to do it. Not to make Daryl look good. This ain't for Daryl. This is for to help somebody that's in need. So, anybody out there want to sponsor Daryl Morris? You guys hit me up on Messenger, and I'll give you that. But guys, if anybody wants to be it, Jay, if you want to be in it, or Randy, you guys want to be in it, let me know, and we'll get all that stuff taken care of. And like I said, we're going to give out all that information probably Thursday. If not, me and Stan may go live Monday or Tuesday. Once we get that info, all we got to do is get the info from JG, and we'll go live and let everybody know what's going on and talk about
Nice.
it. All right. And then
Thank
I
you,
got to figure
Monty.
out how
Thank you,
to.
Monty, for that blessing right there.
Yes,
May
sir.
Yep, may God bless everybody that is fighting that disease called
Yeah.
cancer.
Yeah.
My grandmother is a breast cancer survivor. Um, she is doing well now. She's been in remission for so long
Yeah.
that, man, I know what it feels like to see that every day
Right.
of her just dealing with it,
That's right.
fighting. And you know what? Prayers also help too, guys. Prayers also help too.
Our God in
You know,
heaven will send us a comforter. I mean, that's just the way it is, and it's tough. Stan says he's waiting
yep.
on a reply right now, so it's a tough disease, guys. I went through multiple rounds of chemo, and then I had to have a stem cell transplant,
Hmm.
and that is tough. I mean, tough, tough, tough. I was out of work over a year the same way, and hey, the good Lord let me live, and I always try to send my message out there of how good the Lord was to me because when I was diagnosed with lymphoma cancer, I had it so bad that the doctor said he'd never seen anybody still that was as bad as me and was still alive. And they sent me out to MD Anderson for them to look at me and try to figure out how to how what to do to keep me to get rid of the cancer and all that stuff. So I'm a walking miracle because good Lord let me live, hopefully where I can, tell everybody how good it is. And, and my doctor said the only reason you're here is because the good Lord let you live because I was so impacted. It was in my bone marrow. And that's how they find out how bad you have lymphoma cancer. They go in and do a bone marrow biopsy. When they went in there, I didn't have any bone marrow. I was so impacted with cancer in my bones that I didn't even have any bone marrow to start off with. And he told me, he said, I've never seen nobody like this that was still alive, and he was an older oncologist. So, thank God he let me live. He's let me do some good things, and it's not for me. It's to help other people. Nothing good I ever done, but good Lord let me live, and I try to thank Him for it every day for sure.
Nuts.
Yep, fundraiser will be August the 17th. We will start at 8 a.m. in the morning and go till 4 p.m. So it's going to be we're going to call it a turnathon, a tournament-a-thon, because it's going to be so long. Yes,
And
I am.
is it just catfish, or is it any species?
I don't have a problem if, let me talk to Stan. I don't have a problem if there's guys out there that want to catch carp. Uh, anything with, we might say anything with whiskers. Stan, you're in there. What do you think about that? Because a lot of the guys up north catch a lot of carp and stuff. And I'm not opposed to any carp that has whiskers. And we can call it the whisker tournament or whatever. Well, let's still beat Daryl. Can you beat Daryl? But Stan, comment in there. Are you okay if we do it with anything with whiskers? That may give us a few more
I
people.
was just thinking if we could just probably bring Stan up here, if anything.
Yeah, we're almost done. We'll get
Yeah.
all those details out.
What's up, Uncle Don? How you doing?
All right. So Stan said he's good with that. What's up, Don? We're missing you tonight, brother. Okay, anything with whiskers. So that'll be good. Yep, we can do carp and all. So I'll get Miss Rhonda to change that out. I think she's in here. Yep, fish for whiskers.
Maybe we can catch a jay. He's got whiskers.
I mean, he grows some. I'm 300 pounds almost. I'm gonna hook myself.
Gee. Jody, how's it going, Jody?
What's up, Jody? Sturgeon has whiskers. Just saying. Hey, we'll let it
Right.
go. If it's got whiskers, we're gonna count it. We're gonna count it. Okay. Thank you. Yeah, just put in there anything with whiskers counts, except for Stan. He's so old, he's got whiskers coming out his ears even. All right, we still got about 9 minutes left on this, and like I said, I didn't want that to take up a long time. But when we got something that's that needy, we're going to talk about it here on the Guard Dog Nation for sure. And God, it's just an hour can fly by so fast, especially when you got good people out there in the audience and good co-hosts and everything. But guys, just remember, if you want something that really works out good, where you can talk with your friends and have a good time, and that's what I do out there. Get you a guard dog at guarddogproducts.com. Hook them up on your rods, and you don't have to worry about if you're looking at your phone and or talking to your friend or whatever. When you hear that cling, and that's the noise. Hey, remember, these things are made out of aircraft aluminum. They'll never rust. You don't have to worry about them breaking. The only way you're going to have to replace these rascals is if you lose it. I mean, that's the thing of it is. You might have to replace a string that comes on it, but the only way you're ever going to have to replace these is if you lose them, because they're made out of a great product. They're strong, made here in the USA. Hey, USA, baby, USA. So grab you a
USA,
couple of these.
USA.
Yeah, we sell them in the dog and by singles. Let's put them in the dog pack by threes, or I think it's a dog pack, a dog.
I think it's like 4.
Yeah, and then
I
there's one
believe.
that's got 4. And of course, the more you buy in those packs, the cheaper they are out there. So, guys, you don't want just one of these to go out there. You want 3 or 4 of them. Put one on every rod. Hey, if you're over there with Colorado Jay and old Randy out there, they can't fish but with 2 rods. But if you're in Georgia,
Hey,
and you're in Georgia, and
I'll put my dogs on, even if it's both
y'all
of
can't
them.
have but 2 rods out at a time. Here in Georgia, we can put out 15 rods at a time. Think about it, baby. Hey, when you
I
got a
think that
funky bell that don't go off because you ain't got enough sense to buy the right type bell, get rid
You
of
need
those
this
things.
bell right here.
There you go. Hey. Anyway, what's up, Fish Shizzle? How you doing, brother? Good to see you in there. Hey, they were out catching stripers today, and he sent me a little piece of a video of a nice striper he caught. So that's pretty good. Hey, well, that's catfishing. Like I say, we fish for everything. You got to be a good fisherman because you got to catch the bait. But anyway, get you a couple of these guys. I think you'll enjoy them. I know I enjoy them every time I go out and use them for sure. Any other? There's Dominique. If you're in Tennessee or Kentucky, you're unlimited. That's right. That's right. Tennessee, Georgia. I think Alabama's unlimited too. You know, us southern states, we just want to fish. We don't want to have a bunch of regulations hold us down. Red tape. Make sure
Yeah,
you
I
eat.
got your message, Monty, about I'll have to wait till after the show before I can see if
Hey,
we can
Monty,
hook up
I don't know. We might need to
mod
think
changes. Yeah.
about that. I mean, you know, 2 stands as a mod. I don't know about that.
I thought he was, but I mean, I can't check right now while we're live. I'll have to go after the
And if he
show, but
come in
I'll
on
definitely
mine,
check it
if
out.
he came in on my side, he may not be a mod because of that. But I'm like, Monty, I think we need to start
I'll
just
take a
doing
peek.
it all
No
through
worries.
the guard dog. If we, you know, he said that if we do it through the guard dog, everybody can see all the stuff. So I don't have a problem with that. But anyway,
Yeah, I don't
guys,
have a problem with that either.
yeah, uh, that's right, Stan. You know me, I
I'm
got
still
Jeff.
learning on how to put mods on my YouTube channel.
Yeah, I say.
But yeah, if you guys are watching, please like and subscribe to everybody's that's in chat. Show them some love, whether they go live or not. Still show them some love, guys. Even us on panel, show us some love, like and subscribe.
Yeah,
You know, it really helps us out.
absolutely.
Like and subscribe the Guard Dog channel as well. We
Who
go
let,
live every Sunday.
who let Jeff in here? Oh, I thought we had a good show going, and old Jeff Bill comes in here. Hey Jeff, how you doing, my friend? Good to see you out there. Uh, yeah, the biggest thing I can tell people about fighting off the skunk is be adaptable, be able to change up, be able to throw different baits, throw different size line even can make a difference on some
Oh,
species.
sure.
You just can't throw a heavy line out there. You know, say a 15-pound test line to a bluegill and expect to be able to catch them because for one thing, you know, that's a big line they're going to see it. Another thing, you're not going to feel that bite like you would with a 6-pound test line or 3-pound test line. So you make sure you keep your lines for the you know, fix rods up for the species you're fishing for. You know, that makes a big difference also.
Yep.
And I when I'm fishing for smaller species, I might run a braid. A 10-pound braid is like a 5-pound mono, which is a real small, you know, line. So you'll feel that bite a lot better. To you know, I would try to run a line that's you know, that I can use to be able to feel what's going on, especially if you're like casting and stuff like that. So
No, yeah, I'm a big believer in fluorocarbon. I
yeah,
think it makes a difference with the finicky fish. They just can't see it.
yeah. So that's for sure. There's just so many different ways to just, and you know, I'll say this: watch YouTube, watch what's
Hmm.
going on. I say I wouldn't know. I thought as much about the lakes, you know, certain things that the fish like in that lake until I seen where they were draining the lake and showing different stuff and how small of an area that it was that you had to pitch to get in that sweet spot, you know. So get out there and the species you're catching. If you're not doing real good at it, watch some YouTube shows, especially a lot of how-to stuff and guys out there that's fish in different ways. Watch the different ways they are out there to fish for that species, and you'll learn a lot. That's where I learned to fish the Tennessee River was right off of YouTube. I never had fished the Tennessee River. I watched Joe with Chat Cats. I watched Justin with Kayak Catfish and a couple more. And when I went to the Tennessee River, I went with the right equipment. And first time I ever fished Tennessee River, I caught catfish. And it was by watching them, listen to what they were saying, seeing how they were doing it, you know, and all that stuff. There's a lot of guys out there will tell you exactly how they're catching fish, and watch those guys, and they'll teach you for sure.
Well, hopefully we talked about some things that might help you guys out there with ways to beat the skunk. Um, just like Daryl said, you just got to keep changing up. Something ain't working. Change
Yeah,
it up. Bring different type of baits. Try different locations. Don't be afraid to move. Don't be afraid to try different levels of the water.
yeah,
Live
Right.
bait's key for me. Definitely live bait helps when I want to avoid a skunk, but can't always bring live
Exactly.
bait.
You know, if you threw it way out and you didn't get a bite, reel it in about 15 feet. Wait a
Yeah.
little longer, reel it in another 15 feet. You might
I
find
think
that
luck has a lot to do with it too. I feel like if you're not lucky,
yeah.
sometimes you're
Well,
just
looks
not
like
lucky.
that
So
time has come. You guys got right. I guess Randy, you gave your final thought there. Ray, Jay, you got a final thought on any of this?
Yeah, just like y'all said, just switch it up, switch your baits. Check your if you're gonna fish for like panfish, small fish for baits. Like Daryl said, use your lighter line. Use your you got to also think about like different rods. There's like rods for trout, catfish, carp rods, things like that. You got to also, it depends on what you're targeting. Even if you aren't using your rods, carry those rods with you just in case, like, oh, I don't want to do this. It's not helping, it's not working. Let's try something different. Let's target a different species. Just always have faith in yourself, and catching fish. Never give up, you know, because if you're gonna give up, then it feels like them fish are gonna give up on you. They're out there in that water,
Yeah,
but you just have to. It's like hunting. You're gonna sit there and you're gonna wait for you know an elk, a deer, or something come by. You gotta wait sometimes. But if you're a bass fisherman, just walk around the lake. Just take some laps around it. If not, go to a different lake, different location, try it out.
yeah. Even with hunting, you're going to scout, you're going to look, you're going to see
Right.
trails, you're going to see the trails, you're going to see the rubs, you're going to see the droppings. All that's a telltale sign of where you're going to hunt. The same thing with fishing. Walk around that
Yep.
lake, look at where look for spots of activity. If it's where they've
Find
spawned.
the ripples.
Yep.
Find the ripples. Find the ripples of where they're at. If there's a fish jumping maybe like 5 feet from where you're at, cast out to that spot. Maybe they're
Yeah.
over there in the cat's tails and the tall grass, things like that.
Josh, I read chat. I just try not to interrupt my buddies. All right, guys. Thank you very much, guys. This has been fun. I'll tell you what, I love doing shows that are, that help people out, that I learn things all the time and makes me think. That's the thing of it is, if you're thinking about the stuff and you're learning, the more every time I go fishing, I learn something. And I'm
Yep.
60 years old and I've been fishing a long time. Learn to read the water, learn to look at how things are. And I'll end with this. If you're fishing and you see rocks coming down into the edge of the water, those rocks don't just generally stop to the edge of the water. They're generally coming out. There's you something to try. If you see a tree coming out into the water, it don't just stop at that bank. Fish the tip of the top of the tree or whatever. Ledges. Always try something different. Don't always just rely on the same old, fishing spot. Or if you're going to that spot, try different depths,
Exactly.
left, right. Keep trying. Don't just sit there and expect that fish is going to swim by and find your hook or chase that scent. Yeah, that works to a certain extent, but if you want to be a successful fisherman, learn to read the water, learn how to find those fish for sure. All right, guys. Thank you very much. As always, God bless everybody. We thank everybody that's came in tonight and all your comments and telling us about the different things. Thank you, Monty, for sponsoring this. Thank you for sending that sponsorship to me. And guys, we'll be back here next Sunday at 7 p.m. Eastern, 5 Mountain Time. Always here, always ready to talk. God bless everybody. Have a great rest of the weekend. We'll catch you next Sunday.
see ya.